Now, the main opposition leader in Belarus says she fled the country for the sake of her children after claiming the presidential election result was rigged. Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya is now said to be safe in neighbouring Lithuania. President Lukashenko, who's been in power for 26 years, won a sixth term in office with 80% of the votes, but there are widespread claims of fraud. Protests have broken out for the last 2 nights, sparking violent clashes with police. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Jonathan Miller has this report, and a warning: there are bright flashes from the very start.
Their dictator has ruled with an iron fist, but after a quarter of a century, most know his feet are of clay. Alexander Lukashenko claimed to have won by a landslide and cast protesters as gangsters. The violence escalated last night. How much longer will we tolerate this mess? This injured man asks. I don't understand. But as the streets of Minsk and other cities were convulsed by chaos, the woman who these people had all pinned their hopes on had fled, crossing in the small hours into neighbouring Lithuania. She'd been detained for 7 hours after filing a complaint against vote rigging. Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, visibly distressed, released a brief video statement this morning.
I know that many will understand me, many will denounce me and hate me. But you know, God forbid that anyone should face the choice I faced. People, please take care. Don't risk your lives. Children are the most important part of our lives.
The 37-year-old English teacher and mother of 2 had stepped into the breach after her husband, a presidential contender, was jailed in May. She'd come from nowhere, yet her message of hope and promise of change drew the biggest crowd since the fall of the USSR 30 years ago. But official results put her on just 10% versus Lukashenko's implausible 80%. There was a depressing inevitability about where this was headed. Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya put her children first. She said she was not forced to flee. On day 1 of his 6th 5-year term, President Lukashenko met the head of the Commonwealth of Independent States of the old Soviet bloc. He claimed Britain was among countries controlling the protesters, who he called sheep, with no understanding of what they were doing. On Monday evening, before Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya fled, Lukashenko unleashed his riot police units, who scuffled with protesters in the center of Minsk.
I think elections were maximally unfair because why the president who got 80% on the elections so frequently afraid of his own people.
Today, as some laid flowers where one protester died yesterday, social media messages called for a general strike. But with the opposition leader now in exile, the last tin pot dictator in Europe may yet survive to tyrannize his way to 2025.